Welcome back. Okay, so we know the province's reopening plan, but not everyone happy about it, and no surprise. Let's bring in Mike Eppel to see who is shaking their fist. But honestly, this is a serious issue, Mike, because a lot of these places have not been open for months.
Yeah, and it's just going to be extended well into the summer for restaurants by the looks of things here, Melanie. And, small business has been, the hardest hit, I think, of any of the particular segments of the economy, because they just do not have the financial, owners don't have the financial backing, perhaps, to, weather a storm like the big retailers do. And the Canadian Federation of Independent Business, saying that, look, either the governments have to extend a lot of the support programs. That's one thing. But, they're saying, another, how many more weeks before we see restaurants even offering patio service? And, this dire forecast that, if take two of your favorite restaurants and likely one will be soon out of business going forward, and then you've got the movie industry. The CEO of Cineplex saying that these rules need to be amended. There was no indication that there was a big spread of COVID, if any, in the first two waves. And Ellis Jacobs says they can reopen safely, as a lot of the theaters, all of the theaters in the United States, already back in operation.
I wonder if there's any leeway. Like, this is the initial reopening plan, but could things change along the way?
Well, again, it seems to be it's based on the vaccination percentages, right?
Right.
So maybe it's offer up something that you can pull forward,
right,
as opposed to the worst case scenario. Maybe that's the carrot here to get more people vaccinated.
That's it. Well, that's a whole other conversation, because there's still a lot of people who don't want to get vaccinated. And then it's one of these where, it's kind of like in a school, if the whole class, is everyone going to misbehave, or is everyone going to behave? And then everyone gets the consequences or the reward of it, right? Like, it's interesting.
It's tricky.
For sure. Okay, so let's talk about real estate, because it's a hot topic, and whichever way you go, and a lot of people saying there's going to be a big change. There's got to be. Another warning from the Bank of Canada in its financial system review, where it looks at debt levels. And they're saying, look, mortgage borrowing has been on the rise significantly. We know that because real estate prices have been going up and people have been going further into debt to afford a property pretty much across Canada now. So they're saying, be prepared. Mortgage rates are going to go up. You better be ready to be able to afford what you are maybe going to face, not this year or next, but when you renew in 2, 3, or 5 years, right? So the Trudeau government is actually raising the stress test levels for mortgage borrowing requirements for those that are insured under the CMHC up to 5.25%. You have to qualify now at that mortgage rate level. Not that they're there now, but that's, again, in preparation for the eventuality. The rates will be going up. Mike, finally for you, Porter has not been flying for, I can't even keep track of when.
March of last year.
Was it March of last year? That's when, okay. So now thinking about going to Pearson.
Yeah, not shifting away from Billy Bishop Island Airport, but expanding to Pearson with jet service. Remember, Porter wanted to fly out of the island airport with jets back in 2013. They got blocked. They were going to buy some Bombardier planes back then. Now they're talking to Embraer out of Brazil about jet service out of Pearson, maybe to Ottawa or London, other airports that could handle larger sized planes as well. So they're looking at a reopening, I think, July 20th out of the island, maybe tentatively, but at the same time, they're not saying that this is a sure thing. In fact, they're not commenting on it, but all the talk is that Porter could be flying out of Pearson. The other news of the morning out of the U.S. this morning, Melanie, is that Southwest Airlines in the States is bringing back the bar cart.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, well, look, that's been all trying to keep people separate on the planes as much as possible and the cabin crew safe. And now they're talking about bringing that back sometime this summer. And coffee service, too. They haven't been serving coffee.
I need all of that. All right, Mike, have yourself a great long weekend. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Thank you. See ya.
6:17 is your time right now. All right, a lot of parents have this question. Are schools going back? That's a big one. We're going to break down what the scientists are saying, and many are divided by the province's reopening decision. We'll be right back.